Hey guys, welcome to Classique Sewing, and today I'm teaching you how to make a simple top. Now this top does not have an opening at the front, so the opening is at the back at the neck. So I folded the fabric into a quarter there. So the first thing I'm going to do is to mark around the neck. So for this I'm going 3 1/4 and then 1 inch downwards. Actually, the first thing you did was to mark a line at the top of the fabric. That's just a baseline. So 3 1/4 there, and then from this 1 inch downwards I'm going to go 8 inches down, and this is where I'm going to put the bust line. So I go across. Now the bust is 38, so that's 9 1/2, which is a quarter of 38, and then I'm adding an extra 1.5 inches. Half an inch will be for stitching, and the extra inch is just for room because we're going to be pulling this top over our heads to get it on. Okay, next thing we're going to do is to mark all the way now to the waistline, which is 16 1/2, and then I'm adding full length about 9 inches longer, 9 inches from the waist down to get the full length. So right here is where the full length will be, then extra inch for stitching. I'll be stitching the end, so 2 1/2 inch folds to stitch. Now up here across the back, it's just a midpoint between from the nape of the neck to the bust line, so 4 inches halfway. I'm going across the back is 15, so that's 7 1/2, and we only need 1/2 inch for stitching along. Now this is where we would curve. Now for whatever reason I misplaced the curve, so I'm going to do my best here. Now I'm going to tell you a trick. You don't have to have a shoulder measurement, because from here, if from across the back straight up, let me mark a line straight first, the shoulder length is always going to be a 1/4 inch extra. So it's a slight curve. So this is a straight line, and a 1/4 inch extra gives you the shoulder line. Sorry, I have to do this over because I was demonstrating something here, but it was not captured in the camera. So what I was saying is that when we go across the back here and we get 7 1/2, then to get your shoulder mark, you don't have to have a shoulder measurement. All you do, and it's always going to be 100% perfect, is to get your curve, figure out where the straight line is first. So this is not a curve, this is my ruler. I've misplaced the curve. So draw a straight line up, and your shoulder mark is always going to be a 1/4 inch away. So there's a slight slant towards the right. And then down here, I've been doing this for years, so I can use a curve it freehand, but for you I would rather have the curve for you to see. Anyway, so this is where the shoulder mark is going to be, shoulder line. I just drew that line just to show you. It's always going to be, so it's just a slight curve. Now for the waistline, I don't need to have a waistline because I want as much room as I need in order to pull this freely over my head and across the bust and down. So the same 9 1/2 inches here plus 1.5 inches down here can be the same as well. If you want to go in slightly, you can, but you cannot go in too much on the waist there, because you want this to come down freely down to the hip line where this ends. So there's a slight curve, but you cannot go too much, because remember, there is no opening at the front of this top. And then I'm just going to cut this out. All I'll be having is a 1/2 inch stitch all the way down. There are no darts in it because it's a simple top that you pull over your head. Now here, I can always perfect my curve with the scissors. And we're going to the outer line, which is slightly slanted to the right. And for any body type, any size, your shoulder mark will always be that. So from here to there, I'm saying from this point outwards, your shoulder measurement will always be accurate. If you catch it from down here up there, it will always be accurate. So now I'm just going to cut the neck out at the back. My nape measurement, again, it's 3 1/4, I believe. Is it 3 1/4 or 3 1/2? 3 1/4. Now, because I will be pulling this over my head, I will have a slight opening at the back. I've decided that I want my opening to be 3 1/2 inches deep. It's going to be 3 3/4 because by the time you stitch in a little. So I'm going to make a slit 3 1/2 inches down here. We don't have to do it now, but I'm just doing it now. Okay, so that's the back. Now we're going to cut the front. So I get the rest of the fabric as much as we can. There's no need to spread it all the way to the end because I know already that that is enough to cover this. Now this top is going to have like a pleat at the front. I'm going to be leaving off. Actually, let me just mark it off so you can see. Start at the top. 1.5 inches down, 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. We're going in 1.5 inches down at the front. Remember, this end here is doubled. And now I'm going to place the back. Now I can pin, but I don't have to. So now we're going to cut right here. So we're cutting the exact same thing. Oops, the only difference is when we get to the top up here, so this is where the nape line is for the back. Just gonna mark it here. So what I'm doing, I'm just marking out where the back line or where the nape line is. The front, I'm going to go down 3.5 inches deeper at the front, okay? I don't want the neckline all the way up to the neck. Actually, I will go for because when we stitch it in, it will be 4.5. That's perfect. It's not too low and it's not too high. So now I'm going to cut this out right here. Put this back right there. And cutting the back. So let's go. Now for the front armhole, we're just going to take out a little more of the fabric from the front. Okay. Again, I will perfect my curve in the cutting. So here I go. We're not taking any off the shoulder. We're just starting right below it. We're going down. And that's a whole 3/4 of an inch. We're taking out because we don't want a whole lot of fabric on inside our front. The bust tends to push the fabric forward and it shows there. So you don't want to see this extra fabric right at the side of your armhole. So that's what it looks like. It's fine. It's a top that we're going to be tucking inside. I'll show you the picture and you'll see why. And this line that I drew here, I'm going to be stitching on it all the way down. And then I will show the picture of the top in the video. Now we're going to measure this armhole because we need to cut out our sleeve. I'm leaving off that extra 1/2 inch because it will be stitched. 10.5. Now I have a video on how to cut a basic sleeve. So I'm just going to run through this sleeve very quickly. And I'm going to invite you to watch that video if you want to see all the measurements that I go through to cut a sleeve. I won't be doing that now. Tight up on my arm. I like when it has a little room. This is perfect according to how I want it. I'm just taking a notch where the center is on the front part. I can take off a little bit. If you don't take it off, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, unless if you want, for those who want to like close fitting sleeves, then it may be a big deal if you don't remove it. But that's okay, you don't have to. All right, and that is that. What's left? The interfacing. So what's our interfacing? If somebody is new here, it's that piece that you put under the neckline on the wrong side, just to have it all nice, lined down nicely. Nowadays they're stitching down everything, but the most professional and best way to do it is to have interfacing, which is another piece of fabric stitched underneath it. And this fabric will be something called interfacing. Now will go beneath it. It'll be pressed onto it to give it a professional look. So you're just cutting your lining or interfacing the exact same measurement. Now this is where my slit was, right here. So I'm going about 3 inches lower than the slit. Okay, so I don't even have to measure it, it's just interfacing. So I'm going like this. And this can have any shape you want, doesn't matter. And then I'm going to mark the slit on this as well. 3.5. So that was the back. And I'm going to do it for the front as well. So I'm doubling my fabric again. Oops. Hope I'm not confusing you with the fabric. So the fabric is on the wrong side. And this is the front now. And remember, the front has this extra 1.5 inches, so we have to always hang it off because it's not a part of it's not included in the measurements. You'll see, as you see in the style that is being made. So we cut at the exact same spot. And about 2.5 inches, can be halfway across the shoulder. And then about, I'll measure this because I like when the front piece is lying down nicely. I'm going down 4.5 inches. You can go even 2 inches, but this is how I like it. So we have our 2 pieces of interfacing, front and back. What we're going to do now is, so I'm going to put these out of the way so you're not confused. Wrong side. Now I'm going to cut interfacing to press onto this. Some people call it pellon. They have so many different types of names. Fusible web, same thing. This one is one that is pressed on. There are some that we stitch on. And this is just to give that lining beneath at the front and back at your neckline to give it body. So this is what makes it look really good. This is freehand cutting. You don't need to buy patterns in order to learn to sew. You don't need to. I'll try to make as many videos as I can. Hands, you can put in the comments what you'd like to see me cut, because once you have it cut, believe me, you'll figure out how to put it together, even if I do not teach you. There are certain things that are maybe a little more technical, like the shawl color, the welt pockets, those things. But sewing, you just want to be able to cut. Now here's the back. We have it down like that. gonna make our slits just the same where it is.
That is it. We have just completed cutting a basic top. If there's anything that you are having difficulty cutting and you would like to see me do it, please drop it in the comments and I'll be sure to make a video on it as soon as I can. If you have not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching and happy sewing.
Right at that mark.